So let's talk. One of my favorite games of all time is Imperial Assault. It's really what got me into this. The transition from Hero Clicks to Imperial Assault is what caused the rest of all this, and the reason that we've done, almost 100 videos here on the Dice Tower is because of Imperial Assault. Now, the reason that's important is because there's one inherent issue with Imperial Assault, and for a lot of gamers, me included when I first started, was having someone to play with. If you don't have anybody to play with, Imperial Assault could be a problem, which brings us to the topic today. We are talking about the Legends of the Rebellion, or Legends of the Alliance app. The app for Imperial Assault, and what all it does, how it changes the game, what it brings to the party right now. So let's take a look at what it does, how it plays, and we'll come back and talk about final thoughts about the app with Imperial Assault, why you should or shouldn't waste time or invest time into this right now. So here's what happens when you fire up the app. You get several options. You get new game, load game, collection, and rules. Collection, this is what you physically have in your physical collection. So any of the box expansions or the ally and villain packs are all listed right here. It starts you out at 100%. If you don't have something, you just go in and remove it. And what that will do is it'll remove all the activation cards, all the components that would use that. Say if you were to take out all of these expansions at the core set, you wouldn't have things like weakened or stealth or any of those other kind of tokens, not to mention the other enemies as well as map tiles. So it knows what's in there and will generate something based on what you have. So let's go back out and show what new game does. So you go into the new game here. This lets you create a new party. It says continue, whether you're brand new or not. You can do the tutorial, or you can do the built-in campaign here, Fight for Freedom. You hit continue. It's going to give you the option then to, now see, we put this random party of 4 up here, but it has 1, 2, 3, 5 save slots. So if we went here, slot 5, you can say, has anybody played before? You say yes or no. We'll say yes for now, because we have. You then go in, you pick who all you have based on all the heroes from all the expansions you have. Again, if you have something not selected, you wouldn't be able to pick them. So fill it out, we'll go with these 4 here, hit continue. It'll tell you to start with their basic weapons, their original starting weapons. You have to name the squad heroes. Then you continue. Then from this point on, it's going to tell you what to do. It'll give you an intro about the story so far, launch mission. It'll then tell you which tile to start on. It'll tell you where to start your tiles. This gives you the tutorial, basically how to play. So all the different things are down here. Start with these tiles listed. Put them out there and put a door there. Put your people out there, and then you kind of just continue playing through. Now here's what I want to show you. As it tells you where to put these, notice it doesn't put them on the board physically where you are. The reason it does this is twofold. One is because, remember, well, it's not twofold, it's onefold. It's one basic important reason. This is a board game still. It's not a computer game, it's not an app. You're not playing Imperial Assault on an airplane. What you're doing is you're using the app as a companion. You say, what does that matter? What's the difference? The difference is it will not show you enemies on here, and it will not show you your own components, and it will not show you your own hero item cards or weapon cards or anything like that. And the reason it doesn't is because it's still a board game. So the people who are like, it's going to replace it. No, it's not. It can't replace it because of that reason. Will they change in the future? Who knows? But let me see if I can get out of here for a minute, and I'll show you something really interesting. So when you complete a mission, what happens is you then, let's see, we'll get back into it. When you complete a mission, what happens is this. It gives you the option to buy equipment. Now the way the equipment works is different than the regular campaign. You have access to your cards based on experience, but in the tech tree sort of style. And I really like this. So let's go to load game, load Mystic Thunder. Yeah, I know it's lame. We just came up with it because we had to come up with a name. So here's where you pick the next mission. You can zoom and swipe and all this sort of stuff. It looks pretty great. We have 550 credits. The armory, the way this works is you have shared inventory between your entire party. So we have all of this. You can put it, if you want to buy more, you can go down here and buy it, see? And only certain things are available at a time. So currently, this stuff's available that wasn't available when we went to the end of the mission. So somebody can buy an E11, buy it, and then when you do, it's communal. So right now, we own the Vibro Knuckles and 550 bucks. So we'll back out of here, and we'll see our actual equipment. So these are the things we have. We earned the laminate armor and the personal shields just from beating the tutorial mission. So I'd recommend playing through that. So this is communal, but you have to have the card. You can't just play with the information on here because there's no information on here. It shows the allies. We don't have any allies yet, but that would be any of these kind of characters down here if you got them as allies. You then can also see this. Now this is the coolest part. This is how you do your equipment, your experience. So instead of just picking one, you have to do it in kind of a tree. So you start, Loku can pick either combat spotter or scouting report when you pick one, and you can change it anytime before the mission. When you pick one, you take that card. Then as you grow your experience, you'll get to pick one from each of these tiers at a time. So you'll get new experience cards like that. So it's a little bit different. It makes it more like a traditional RPG in that sense, but it's a really cool way to keep track of your character's equipment. So then you would click here if you want to do a new mission, select a briefing, meet the captain, it'll go into the mission. And that is how you play it. You just put everything out on the board. If you've seen the Mansions of Madness one, it works a lot like that, but it'll tell you, hey, put this here. This happens, your enemies show up here, and then it just has the blank board. Now, combat works a little bit differently in the sense that, let me go back to the tutorial just to show you when the enemy comes up here. I want you to see that, what actually happens, how combat works. It's a little bit different. It's more like the Descent app than the Mansions of Madness app, so it'll kind of walk you through, and as soon as it gets to the combat, I'll tell you here. Okay, so ignore this part at the top. This is just a tutorial telling you, but this is the blue Stormtrooper group. See here, it's the Stormtroopers, they're basic normal type, but this is the blue one, so we selected them to be the blue color. You would mark that on your actual player board, which ones are the blue ones, just to keep the group together. So here's how this works. They automatically get a bonus, so they gain +1 surge no matter what. You can see how they're gonna spend their surges in this order. So to start with, they would get the +2 accuracy. If they don't need that, they would take the +1 damage. The way their activation works is they'll do these things in order. So the way it works is they'll either move 3 to attack the closest rebel. So they'll move 3 spaces towards the closest rebel and attack that rebel. Then they'll move 2 to reposition 4. Reposition means they just want to get in the better spot adjacent away from all 4 other heroes. If any of these didn't work, they would skip down to the next one and do that until they got to the end, and then their activation would be finished. So you'd finish their activation, it'll tell you all the stuff you have to do here. Touch that. It'll give you ideas about the single priority and all that sort of stuff. And that's it. You do this over and over. They'll activate, and you play the normal way. And that's basically how the app works, just like that. Now this won't be here normally. It's just showing it for the tutorial. In fact, it says that. So as you can see, it's amazing. It totally fundamentally changes the game. 4-person campaigns, you no longer need someone to play the Imperial side. No, it doesn't mean that that's not there anymore. It doesn't mean you can't do that anymore. It means it's a different way to play. What it also means is it means that it's a chance for people to play solo. One of the biggest complaints is, I just don't have anybody to play this with. I really love it. Think about it. All the time you've invested painting, all the time you've invested collecting and organizing. Now, Tuesday night, you're home, you're just hanging out. You can fire up a game of Imperial Assault and play a 4-person campaign against the app. It's such a brilliant, beautiful concept. The idea of taking a game that is a collective experience. You said, but Brian, this kills the whole idea of getting together with people. No, it doesn't, because you can still do that. What it does, though, is it opens up the window even more for people who really want to experience Imperial Assault but just can't make it out to a game night. Or they're on the road or something, but they still have room in their hotel room to bring the Imperial Assault along. It's one of those beautiful things that allows and opens the door for more people to play, and it's done so incredibly well. Descent 2nd Edition, the app was great. Road to Legend, Mansions of Madness, it's my favorite game probably. Then the Imperial Assault app. They did a fantastic job of translating this. The little tweaks, the little changes and things that allow you as a party to collectively own items, and then you can kind of do that tech tree sort of thing. It's so brilliant. So this changes things. This should, in my opinion, this should sell more copies of Imperial Assault. It is that worth having because, again, it changes it, makes it for the solo gamer even more so now. You can play Imperial Assault solo against the app, and they're going to constantly update it. You know Fantasy Flight's good for things like that. The app is done so well. Again, this is a must-have for Imperial Assault players. And conversely, this makes Imperial Assault a must-buy for single player, and I love it. I think it's a fantastic idea. Go out and get it. Go out and get Imperial Assault and enjoy this, because again, the beautiful thing is you can enjoy this with just the core set, or you can go full bore and get everything that's for Imperial Assault and further enhance this game. So check this out. Make sure you go and download the app now, play around with it and see if you like the way it interfaces, and then go and attach it to your Imperial Assault game, see how you like it. It's so good. But that's just me talking here. I'm Brian Drake with the latest retro here on the Dice Tower. Make sure you check out our other videos and the other playlists we have. Till next time, we'll see ya.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.